Have you ever wondered what the differences are between seed potatoes and the potatoes you eat? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to produce your own high quality seed potatoes and 4 tips on how to get massive harvests. Potatoes are actually perennial plants, meaning they come back every year, a bit like mint for example, but most of us actually only grow them as annuals, buying a new set of seed potatoes in the spring, planting them, harvesting them, and then having to buy more next year. If you live in a mild temperate climate where summer temperatures don't regularly exceed 28 degrees Celsius and winter lows don't drop below -12, then you've got the perfect conditions to grow perennial potatoes. So what is the difference between seed potatoes, supermarket potatoes, and the ones you grow yourself? Actually, the answer is nothing. There's actually no difference between the seed potatoes you buy and the potatoes you end up with after you do your harvesting. Just the seed potatoes you buy are often tested and certified to be disease-free and guaranteed to be of a particular variety. So you might be wondering, do I need to practice crop rotation with my potatoes? Well, the main goal of crop rotation is to reduce the impacts of pests and diseases and also maintain or build your soil quality. Each different type of plant you grow makes different demands on your soil in terms of the nutrients and minerals they require. So growing the same crop in the same place year on year is constantly drawing those same minerals and nutrients from the soil, which means yields over time can decrease. Also, rotation helps to reduce the build-up of crop-specific pests and diseases that may survive in the soil over winter time. But having said that, there are 4 methods I'm going to show you to reduce the need to rotate your potato crop. The first tip is using the no-dig method of gardening. This means you're never digging, tilling or cultivating your soil. Because when you do that, you're damaging the all-important web of fungi, microorganisms and all those little worm tunnels under the soil, which is all important for its health. And also, you wake up soil pathogens and all those horrible weed seeds you don't want growing in your patch. And number 2 is using an organic mulch to cover your soil with.
Mulching is when you use a form of organic matter, like, for example, decaying leaves, straw, compost, or in our case, wood chips to cover the soil. This helps soil to retain moisture, which in turn reduces the need for watering dramatically. It also suppresses weeds, improves soil organic matter, provides nutrients, deters some pests, and helps warm up the soil in spring, but also protects plant roots from extreme hot and cold temperatures. It also makes mounding or earthing up your potatoes much easier. And the best part of all, gives a liquid feed every time it rains.
Number 3 is giving your potato plants the conditions they love. So potato tubers themselves don't like frost, so it's very important and another benefit of mulching to make sure you do have a mulch if your winter temperatures do drop below 0. We regularly get -5 here throughout the winter and it's not a problem for us because they are buried 3 to 4 inches below the wood chips. Periods of erratic watering can leave your potatoes prone to potato scab, and consistently wet or waterlogged conditions can leave them vulnerable to blight or white potato rot. So keep an eye on those plants. And finally, tip number 4 is using companion planting.
This is the close planting of different plant species that enhance each other's growth or protect each other from pests. Potatoes grow well with bush beans and corn like I like to do, but also with celery, garlic, marigolds, onions and peas all do well planted near potatoes. But avoid planting potatoes near asparagus, brassicas, carrots, cucumbers, kohlrabi, melons, parsnips, squash, sunflower and turnips.
This bed next to me suffered really badly from white potato rot last year, which makes the foliage start to go yellow and mottled, and the tubers basically rot and turn to mush, and they have a disgusting smell. This entire bed has grown back from tubers that were left in the ground last year, and I want to show you that it doesn't mean you have to discard everything. They will still just grow just as well the next year. So the growing conditions are one of the main things which dictate if you're going to get certain diseases like the potato rot or blight, for example, especially if you have periods of erratic rainfall, or if you have a lot of rainfall and the potatoes are left really moist in the ground around the time they're ready to be harvested. So what I do is have a wander through the patch and search for those that are showing signs of yellowing first, and I'll get those instead of the ones that are still completely healthy looking and green. So I've seen a few over here we can go and check out. So this potato here is a prime candidate for harvesting first because the foliage clearly isn't looking as good as its surrounding neighbours. So I'm just going to gently start removing some of the mulch from around the base of the plant. Already start to see a couple of potatoes right there. And I'll give this a gentle pull, no digging involved. Look at that. So this was from a diseased potato that was left in the ground last year. Absolutely packed out, no blemishes. Beautiful. We're still going here from one plant. One tuber left in the ground last season. Not bad at all, considering that's doing everything you're told you shouldn't do. So now comes the all-important part of treating them as perennials. And the beauty of this method is you get to do your harvesting and your planting in one go, nice and quick and easy. So what we're going to do now is look through our pile and select a nice healthy one, which actually pretty much all of these are, of the standard kind of size that you would get as a seed potato. So that's a perfect candidate right there. Simply going to stick it back in our hole. Again, no digging. And push our mulch back on top. That's really it. Simple as that. I went on to harvest one Red Duke of York plant and two more Maris pear. The Maris pear I originally bought several years ago at a local supermarket as normal new potatoes to eat and planted them out. Now I know many people will be shaking their heads as these aren't usually tested for disease, but I wanted to share this as many people were unable to buy any seed potatoes this season. I've grown 7 or 8 other varieties from disease-free certified seed potatoes over the years, and the supermarket ones has consistently outperformed most of the rest in yield and disease tolerance. But it's best to experiment with what varieties do best in your soil and conditions, as some are more susceptible than others to certain diseases. But fear not, there are also varieties that have been bred to be more tolerant of blight and scab, like Desiree and Charlotte. A great thing to remember is that, just like we have an immune system and our environmental conditions, nutrition and factors like stress dictate our chances of getting disease, plants are just the same.
When you don't dig or till, you've got more time to lay down and chill.
You may be fed up of hearing people say, please like and subscribe to this video, but by liking and subscribing and sharing this link on your social media is the best grassroots way we can spread sustainable agriculture and begin to heal the damage we've done to Mother Nature. We look forward to seeing you again and would love to hear your comments on any other methods of growing potatoes organically you've had success with. Peace and plants.